welcome to my channel. My name is Janelle. Today's video will actually be comparing a skin tint by NYX. This is the Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil, and we'll be comparing it to the Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint. I have my skin tint in the shade G9, and I have the NYX Bear With Me Skin Veil in the shade Pale Light. I have both of them on my face today. You don't know which is on which side, do you? They both look really nice. You'll go ahead and hear all my thoughts, and I'll insert some natural lighting clips of the products and some swatches, and let's just jump into that right now. But without further ado, like and subscribe if you're not already, and yeah, here are the clips. Okay, so now we're into the demo part of the video. So I do have the NYX Bear With Me Tinted Skin Veil foundation. It is in Pale Light, and then I have the Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint in G9. I did get this way lighter thinking it would oxidize, but I don't think it does. So it's very like pink and super pale on me. Right now I'm like at my tannest, so I think the Glossier is gonna fit better. So I'll be using the NYX Bear With Me on my left, which is your right, and then the Glossier on my right, which is your left. I do have a lot of acne and stuff to cover, but these don't necessarily do that. And I do know right off the bat from just watching this that this is way more full coverage than this is. So I'm assuming this is going to cover better, but I'll try to use a light amount of this just to kind of get the same effect, but we shall see. So I'm gonna go ahead and try with my hands, and if I need to dab it out with the sponge a little bit, we'll try that. But if I'm not getting enough coverage, we'll go in with the brush to see if we can build it up a little bit, and maybe some concealer to spot correct. Other than that, let's just jump into the portion. I do not have on primer. I only have on my skincare. So yeah, oil and a moisturizer just to hydrate my face a little bit. So that's the glow that you're seeing. And let's just go ahead and apply. I guess I'll start with the Bear With Me. I don't remember how many shades this has, so I'll pop it on the screen here. And I don't know how much is too much. I think that's already too much. So we'll start with that. Oh my god, it's thick. Can you see how thick that is? It's like a glob. Okay, let's see if we can just work with this. Oh lord, what did I do? And that is obviously way too pale, so let's just rub all this on my hand and see if we can fix this. So it feels like a sunscreen going on, and it's already getting all in my hair, and it's kind of just sitting on my face, leaving like a white cast. This is not good. I wish I would have picked a darker shade, but just knowing my experience with drugstore foundations, I thought I would need to go with a darker shade. So yeah, I have all this product. So we're gonna try to make it work. So it is giving me like the same Glossier effect, like it's slightly tinting my face, but it's kind of just sitting there, opposed to the Glossier, I know, just like sinks right in, becomes one with your skin. Color's not really an issue. You can go a little bit darker, a little bit lighter, and you're not really gonna see much of a difference. This is a really bad shade match on my part, but it is just a little light coverage, so it does have that in common with the Glossier, but the Glossier is a lot less coverage, that it just kind of sinks in. So there we are there. I have all this foundation left, so I'm going to wipe it all off, and then we'll go in with the Glossier skin tint. So here we are with the NYX by itself, and then my bare skin on this side. So it just cracked a little bit. Yeah, So I don't know, I'm not too impressed. So we'll go ahead and go in with the Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint in the shade G9. So with this, I am gonna go a little bit more liberal just because I know I have a lot more to cover up and Glossier really doesn't provide much coverage. So that may look like a lot, but it's gonna essentially do what this did. And I much prefer the color on this Glossier Skin Tint. And I'll pop up the price of the NYX and how much it originally cost and then how much I got it for, because I did use a coupon, I believe. And then I'll do the same for the Glossier because I don't remember any of that information off the top of my head. So I'll do that now. So here is the NYX Skin Tint, and then this is the Glossier. As you can see, there's a lot more shine on the Glossier part and a lot less coverage. You don't see any color at all, it just blends in with my skin. And this one left a white cast because it was a little too white for me. But I think if you put, because I have an oil underneath, I have that shine. But if you go a little bit more heavier or you mix this in with an oil, I think you can get the same effect. It's not too bad of a dupe. And this one feels a lot more matte on my skin, and I can feel this, like this is not dried down. This one kind of already set itself a little. But the way I like to do my makeup, I would still powder it anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and spot correct with my concealer, and I'll be right back to show you what the skin looks like when it's just corrected. So be back in 5, 4, 3, 2. So I lightly spot concealed with the e.l.f. hydrating concealer. You can still see a little of my acne just because it is so dark and stuff, and I didn't want to go in with tons of layers because that defeats the purpose of using the skin tints. I still want my skin to show a little bit, but I don't want too much blemishes showing, if that makes sense. So I did go in with the e.l.f. hydrating concealer, the Tarte Shape Tip under my eyes, and I blended everything, and now things are looking quite the same because, you know, I had to go in with the sponge to dab out the concealer. I was thinking about using the Glossier concealer, but then I thought maybe that would affect things because it's that very glossy texture like the skin tint. So I went in with just my regular concealers that I always use. So here is the NYX Skin Tint Skin Veil, and this is the Glossier side. So now that I dabbed everything out with the sponge, I think you're getting the same effect. It looks really pretty. As you can see, you can still see some of my acne a little bit. And then along with the Glossier side too, you don't have a lot of coverage. So I do think both sides look super nice and they're looking equal. You wouldn't know that I'm wearing two different skin tints if you ask me. So you guys gotta let me know down below what you think of each side, if one's better than the other. But at this point, I really don't see a difference. I'm gonna go ahead and apply powder and stuff, and I'll show you my finished look before highlight, because you know you can see the luminosity now without a highlight. So, and then of course I will add one afterwards, but I'm gonna go ahead and apply my powder products, and I'll be right back to show you what that looks like. Okay, so I did set my eyes and a little bit of my T-zone with Bare Minerals Well Rested Powder Concealer. And then I did go in with a cream blush. Actually, I put the cream blush on first by Rare Beauty. It's in the shade Grace. And then after I powdered my under eyes and my T-zone area, I went in with my bronzer, which is a Pacifica bronzer. It's in the shade Desert Sun. It's a matte and bronzer little duo, so I used this side, and I've been really loving this soft bronzer. Actually, I went in with the cream bronzer first, which was the Milk Makeup Bronzer and Baked. So I do have a cream blush and highlight, and then I topped it off with the powder, and I set my under eyes and my T-zone with a little bit of powder. And I went in with the Tarte Stay Spray Setting Spray, and for my lips I used Dolce K Lip Liner by Kylie, Sellout by Too Faced, their Melted Matte Liquid Lipstick, and then my gloss is Fussy. So that is everything that you're seeing on my face. So here is the NYX Veil side, which looks really nice. And then here is the Glossier side, which also looks really nice. And I'm loving this light coverage, dewy moment we're having here. I kind of want to go in with a Charlotte Tilbury highlight to jazz it up a little bit more, but I'm actually going to use the powder highlight over the top of my cheeks here in a minute. But I just wanted you to see like the luminosity that the NYX is actually giving, which I think is my oil that I applied underneath my foundation. But and then the Glossier has that same effect. So I do think you can get this if you use an illuminating base, because it's a little bit more matte than the Glossier and it's a lot more full coverage. So apply a little bit. Even when I tried to apply it a little bit out, it was like a lot. So I would advise you to maybe try that much for half of your face, and maybe like that much for your whole face. I don't know, just play around with it, see what you guys can come up with, because like I said, it's very thick, it's not going anywhere, but the end result's kind of the same. So I do think this is a nice alternative. As for like consistency, and obviously these are not the same shade whatsoever, but if you can find your shade in this to match your what would be your Glossier one, I do think if you put like an oil or illuminating primer underneath, it will give you the same effect, because I do not tell a difference. I cannot tell a difference like right now. If you're wondering what's on my eyes, it's the Hip Dot Zion palette. I love this. I've already worn this look like twice already. Peachy golden moment, it is my jam. So I am going to go ahead and apply a powder blush on top and a highlight, and I'll show you the final look, and we'll conclude this video. We'll wrap it up with all my final thoughts. Okay, so I'm back with my final thoughts. I went ahead and added cookie highlighter, so that's the Super Glow you're seeing by Benefit, and I did add a slight little bit of powder blush, which is Berry Amore by Milani, and I did my inner corner highlight with a Project Pan item by Ace Beauty. So here's the final look. I think I look nice on both sides, very radiant, slightly dewy. You can see the dew on my forehead, and I don't know, I just really love the like natural skin tint vibe. And I do think the next side looks very good. I actually think when I zoomed in on myself, like my pores look good. I'm not really sure how to do the zoom on my editing thing, but if I can zoom in, I'm gonna zoom in here so you can see my pores. Anyways, I do think here on this lower area here, the NYX side looks a lot better. And then on here, it looked a little bit more textured on the Glossier side. But, you know, I do struggle with, you know, textural acne and stuff. But I think on both sides, my skin is peeking through on both sides, but just like in a natural, graceful way. And I love it. So I'm very happy with both. I don't know if this video is actually going to be helpful, but if it was in any way, shape, or form, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and let me know what you think of the NYX Veil down below compared to Glossier's skin tint. So that was everything for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next video.